right. Hello. How is everyone doing today? This is Steve, aka Dreaming Crow, or Somnus Dread Raven, depending on how you know me. Um, it's been a long time. Here I am early Sunday morning. Today's the 2nd of May, 2021. Where the hell have I been all these months? Some people have simply just sent me questions, asked me how I'm doing, and I usually made some very short replies like, hey, I'm doing okay, just dealing with health issues and whatnot, which I really was. Um, but more or less, I also was just kind of experiencing some growth issues and some transformation in my life, and it required a little more attention than I thought it was going to. A number of months back, one of the last rituals I had done with my path working with Lucifer in the Awakening Lucifer book by Asenath Mason and Bill Duvendak was I had worked with Shemyaza in one of the rituals. This is about halfway through the book. And Shemyaza actually had some interesting things to show me and teach me, and that kind of sparked some things to happen in my life. Some good, some bad. It required a lot of food for thought for me personally, and at the time, and then I just kind of had to roll with it. Really, I did have some problems happen in my life. I did have to change employment. Unfortunately, I no longer work for my last employer. I still work in manufacturing, but not quite making the money that I used to, unfortunately. This has a lot to do with a lot of unknown allergies, food-related allergies that I actually ended up developing over the years that just kind of happened out of, more or less out of the blue, really. And I don't think that was Shemyaza's doing that. That's something totally different. The path working situation is totally different from this. Although, one of the, when I did work with the shadow companion in on my path working with Lucifer, he did state to me that there was going to be requiring a lot of changes and a lot of transformation, and I think maybe he had tried to give me some time in order to be able to work through that and start making those changes myself. But as he did point out to me in Gnosis a couple times, he did say, "Yeah, I am aware of what you want. It's going to take some drastic changes." And some of you may recall that one of my Gnosises had a lot of, I mentioned a lot of snakes in it, and snakes just happen to be, if you look at the meaning of snakes, you're looking to get rid of a lot of things, negativity such as fear, worry, and whatnot. But it also is good in that snakes also represent healing and transformation and growth. So I knew that was going to end up happening. I just didn't realize how it was really going to affect me over the next coming months. And one of the things that I was looking at wanting to do was change my diet, lose weight, a couple other things, and I knew I had to work on it, and I just kept putting it off, and then finally, just out of the blue here, during the month of March, I got hit with a massive, massive food allergy attack in the middle of one of my shifts. Needless to say, I was rushed to the hospital. It was that serious. I had trouble breathing, a lot of hives on my body, and they thought that I was having a heart attack. And I kept telling them, it's not cardiac, this is allergy. And they kept saying, well, no, you're having a heart attack. You just don't realize it. I said, no, this is an allergy. And then I finally pulled up my shirt and they went, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, it is an allergy. Okay, you're not having a heart attack. And I'm like, duh, I've been telling you guys this for like 2 hours, along with at work and, on a ride in the ambulance and whatnot. And they just weren't listening to me until I finally showed them. I had freaking hives the size of golf balls, like all over my freaking body. It was just unbelievable. Regardless, I had 3 episodes actually, but my first 2 episodes were days apart. And at that point, I had not been around the substances which had caused my reaction to begin with, which was wheat and soy. I was working with Rue at the time during my first allergy attack, and that's what caused the reaction. And anyways, I was working somewhere else in the plant, and I just started to break out again. It was just crazy. I was working with onions at the time, and I just had all these hives forming all over my body. It was just crazy. But both instances, the first 2 instances, nobody at the hospital wants to admit that they almost fucked up and killed me on both situations, because they had given me a shot of a little cocktail of Benadryl, Pepsid AC, and some other idiot ended up throwing another sedative in there, which Benadryl is already a sedative, people. And that, needless to say, that they almost lost me a couple times because they said my blood pressure dropped so low. And I said, well, what the fuck did you guys put in that fucking shit other than Benadryl and Pepsid? Because I know you're not supposed to put another sedative with Benadryl. I mean, I'm not even a fucking nurse, and I know that. And, same reason why you're not supposed to mix Benadryl with alcohol. Same shit. And nobody wants to admit it, but I know that they fucked up somehow over there. Regardless, I ended up having a 3rd allergy attack after I had made changes to my diet. I was eating gluten-free, with about a week later. And then it just so happened that my gluten-free waffles I was eating had soy in it. And so at this point in time, we're aware of some of my allergies, but the testing facility still has not gotten a lot of my tests back to me. But wheat, soy, milk, onions, garlic, folks, that includes a lot of fucking shit out there. I'm telling you right now, I'm eating fruits, vegetables, meat, whole grain brown rice, and I read the back of packages all the fucking time now. You start to learn a lot about your food and the food you put in your body when you start turning packages over and you start reading labels and what the hell they put in this, what the hell they put into your foods. So, needless to say, I mean, it's a pretty simple diet. I don't. It sucks because I've had to cut out a lot of things, but it's kind of helped me a little bit too. I see it sort of as a blessing. In the last 5 weeks, I've actually almost 6 weeks now. Um, Being that I have not been putting those allergens in my body's been cleaning itself out. My digestive tract has gotten much better. I've lost almost 20 pounds in the process as well, so I'm feeling a hell of a lot better as well. Um, and Overall things are just good. I've managed to learn how to make things myself. Such as like salad dressing that doesn't have onion and garlic in it, or soybean oil. So basic olive oil vinaigrette. Works pretty well. I got back into baking. I used to be a baker for 8 years. So now I'm just kind of like going through some of my recipes that I have and, replacing things, replacing milk with coconut milk and, using almond flour or xanthan gum and, different ingredients, things that are gluten free. And, like I said, things are great. I've cleaned out my pantry, foods that I have not been able to eat. I donated it away to people who could use it, rather than just trashing it. So I mean, that's kind of like where I've been, and I have a new employer. I still work in food manufacturing. Hell, I still work in a situation where I deal with soy sauce like every fucking day. But I wear my gloves and I put on my apron and other PPE equipment that I'm supposed to wear, and I haven't had a breakout up to this point. I'm not saying that I'm cured or anything, but I do pay attention to what I'm doing, and for all things I'm grateful. So the environment has changed a lot for me. I've met new people. People don't have sticks shoved up their ass like the other people I used to work with. Um, Overall, it's good. Plus, I have the weekends off, and I'm home by usually 4 o'clock every day. So I have the evenings free. Yes, I'm kind of like not. I've lost the. I miss the $600 extra that I had from my other job per month, but quality. I guess quality instead of quantity at this point is what someone would is what people would say. So, moving forward, I just want to have a little bit of a discussion on the use of invisibility, because I've actually been approached by one person regarding that. Can I become invisible? Can you use magic for invisibility? And I'm like, yeah, actually you can. I do have some firsthand experience with that. It was a number of years back, and I'm going to actually share that with you here. But for those of you that are interested in wanting or wondering if that is possible, yes, there are many ways that you can achieve invisibility, or just the ability to be inconspicuous, or to have less attention drawn to yourself. It's totally possible. Okay, when I'm talking invisibility, I'm not talking like you actually vanish physically from people's eyes. Okay, that's movie type stuff. Although there are industries and manufacturers that have come out with invisibility cloths and ways to bend light around material that's being looked at for military applications, of course. So the use of invisibility, or to be seen less of or inconspicuously, is totally possible. So my experience with it is this. Back in, I want to say, 2000, somewhere around 2000. It was around the turn of the century. I was doing some rituals, and for whatever reason, I wanted to become less conspicuous. Now, mind you, some of the information that we have nowadays, um, excuse me, that is useful. We didn't have back, 20 years ago, 20, or a little over 20 years ago. So what I was using was, I believe it was one of the Pentacles of Solomon. I want to say it was one of the Pentacles of the Sun, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't looked that up to actually pinpoint which one it was, but I believe that's what it was. And either way, I did achieve it in some sense. I was less conspicuous to people, and by that meaning that some people will just not notice you until it's like almost too late. And let me tell you, and that goes like in the workplace as well. People have a tendency to not think of you as much, or if you meet somebody and you introduce yourself, they'll kind of have like a deja vu moment or something like, did I just meet somebody? I forget what their name is. So, invisibility can work for you. It can protect you in some situations. And like the book Magical Protection by Damon Brim, he does talk about that, where you can use, there are angelic protection rituals in there. They're very short. I believe you can do most of them in like 2 or 3 days. If you just follow the process in the book, they do work. But there can be a downside to it. Again, if you're looking to get out there and introduce yourself or get yourself known, because say you're an artist or something like that, and you're doing an invisibility, right? On top of that, you're gonna be very hard pressed, because people are gonna be like, did I just meet somebody? I don't remember their name, or they're not going to take notice of you. It can be a downside in your job as well. If you do an invisibility protection, or say like to be less conspicuous, or to have unwanted attention drawn to yourself, or something like that, or even using one of the angels out of the 72 angels of magic for an invisibility purpose, and there are 3 of them, and I will cover those here in this discussion. That could be a problem, especially if you're looking for like a promotion, or you need to switch jobs. Having an invisibility spell or something like that working for your benefit can be a very big drawback. When I had done mine many years ago, I cannot begin to tell you how many times I was almost run over by a motherfucking car, like every fucking day that I was out. Okay, every day that I'd go to work, I'd almost get hit by a car, like 3 or 4 times, like just going to work, and another 3 or 4 times going back from work. And in every situation, it was like, oh, I didn't see you there, and you kind of get that. I understand if you're a pedestrian and you're crossing in a corner, a motorist may not see you on occasion and say, oh, I didn't see you there, I'm sorry, but I'm telling you, to have something like that happen 5 or 6 times a day, 5 days a week, over the course of 6 months, no, that's not coincidence at all. Okay, so Eventually, I ended up breaking that ritual. I ended up repeating it and then just asking for um, it to end, and which it did. But again, if you do something like this, and in the workplace, for instance, if you're looking for a job promotion, you're not going to be noticed. So you want to take into consideration why you want the invisibility or to be less conspicuous, um, and think of how that's going to affect you in the short term and perhaps the long term before you go ahead and do something like that, because it can be a double-edged sword, and if you're not prepared for it, it can cause you some problems in the end. So do think about that again. But if you do want something like that because you want to again draw less attention to yourself, or you happen to travel through areas that have high crime rate or something like that, you want to avoid violence, or you're trying to avoid a stalker, or someone stalking you or harassing you. There are rituals that help. The angelic protection ones that help out of Protection Magic by Damon Brand. You can use one to protect your job. Again, when you're looking to protect your job, that particular ritual lasts about 3 months. If you need to continue to protect your job because, say, it's in jeopardy, your company is doing cutbacks or something like that, and you really don't have any other place to go, and you're looking to keep your job for as long as possible, do it, but then you have to repeat it after 3 months. The other downside to it is, yeah, you might protect your job, but if you're doing stupid shit that causes you to get fired, like you're harassing people or doing something, or doing things like stealing or something like that, understand that protecting your job from a ritual, that isn't going to happen. Okay, you're going to end up losing your job. So make sure that you're not doing stupid shit that's going to put you in jeopardy of losing it to begin with. Okay. Protection from stalkers. I've used that one and it does work. That one's on page 58 of the book if you have the physical book. Protection from unwanted attention is on page 60, as well as to be less conspicuous on page 73, or protection from violence on page 81 of the books. Those are all effective. I've used all those and others to some extent. Again, you just have to take in consideration what you're doing. If you're wanting to not draw attention to yourself, but you happen to drive through a high crime rate area in a brand new Corvette every day and you get carjacked, well, you're not being less conspicuous because you are drawing attention to yourself by driving like a particular car or something like that. Anyways, food for thought. So yes, you can achieve invisibility through the use of angelic magic as well. It is going to, you do want to follow the master ritual process for the 11-day period, and that is required. And the first angel that you can use for something like that would be Keliel, which is number 18 in the book. That's Keliel, Keliel. And that is to become less visible. Okay, and if you do want to use this particular angel for that need, um, if you have a need where you don't want to be noticed as much, or you need like time away from people or something like that, um, that particular angel can help with that. Okay. He does make you less visible on a physical level. People will have situations where, again, they don't think of you, or they have a hard time remembering you, or your name, or something like that. Particularly if that person, you just like introduced yourself to somebody. Um, but for the most part, they just have a tendency to not think of you if you're well known to them. Okay. Simply tell the angel what you like, how long you want that invisibility to last for, and if at any point you need it to end sooner than that, redo the ritual, call on the angel again, and just one time, and then ask them to stop the use of the invisibility, and that'll take place. If you want, there's also Lecavel, that's Lecavel, Lecavel, which is number 31 in the 72 Angels of Magic. If you want to remain unseen, this particular angel can make you inconspicuous, but it's not like actual invisibility. This is good if you are having, say, a stalker or someone harassing you. It causes them to lose interest or have less interest in you, and so they turn to somebody else. And it's also great if you just want to draw less attention to yourself. Again, if for some reason you need it to end, I would do the same as in Keliel. Just call up the angel on one ritual at one time and let them know you need it to end, and you should be good to go. Finally, Yael, which is number 62. That's Yahel. Yael is again number 62, and this angel will help you keep a low profile. So again, it makes you less conspicuous, so that people don't notice you as much, and that's very similar to using the protection against violence or being less conspicuous on magical protection. Again, if you want to give any of those angels a try to use the power of invisibility, by all means, go ahead and give them a try, look them up, and see what happens. I mean, that's all I can really tell you on that. So subscriber questions. I want to cover a few subscriber questions really quick, and then we're probably going to call this video done. I haven't, being that I haven't done one of these in such a long time, I'm probably just kind of take it slow a little bit. I do have some fabulous cabbage soup that has been cooking for like the last 8 hours. I just happened to throw cabbage soup together like around midnight last night, and the smell in my apartment is like freaking amazing. So by all means, I'm getting kind of famished at this point. So I'm gonna finish this discussion though, and then I'm gonna call it a day for a bit. So first, Question: is it possible to attract the job that suits me the best through angels or through using angels? And the answer is yes. You can use angels to attract a job. There is a book specific to this by Damon Brain, of course. It is called The Magical Job Seeker, which I have covered in one of my video book reviews. But if you are looking to use one of the 72 Angels of Magic in order to find a new job or a better job or to change careers, there are I'm going to say four. I kind of like breezed through the book a little bit, but I came up with four of them, and I'll cover those right here. And the first one is Sitael, which is a third angel in the book. That's Sitael, Sitael. And Sitael is used to find a job, or is one of the angel's powers or abilities. If you're also seeking to get a promotion or to have a complete change in your career, this particular angel is beneficial for that as well. You do want to be very clear on what sort of work you're looking for. You may not want to be too specific in this type of situation because you may end up limiting yourself too much. But be clear about what it is that you're looking for. If you want something that is just maybe uses your skill set a lot better, or you're looking for a better change of environment or something like that. You do want to go ahead and mention that, but do keep an open mind as well. You may end up leaving a job that pays you very well for something that may not, in the beginning, but it may lead to something better, at a later point. So again, be open-minded about not just what you're looking for, but what you're receiving when you call on this angel to help you with that new job or promotion or career change. All right. Menadel, which is the 36th angel in the book, Menadel. Menadel is used to help keep a job. Okay, so you find that job that you want and you want to be able to keep it. That's one reason. The other reason that you might call in this angel is that if your job is under threat, or is to be cut, or there are difficulties and your company is doing cutbacks again. This is very similar to the job protection spell out of the Magical Protection book. Menadel can help you to protect your job. You have to be specific in how long you want your job to be protected. So, for instance, you can say, "Hey, I want my job to be protected for a year." In which case, that way you only have to do the ritual for 11 days, one time every year. But again, remember that the same situation falls here as well as the job protection spell. If your job is under threat because you're doing stupid shit, again, don't expect the angel to really step in there and help you out. So don't be harassing people, don't be stealing shit, don't be causing destruction of company property on a purposeful basis or something like that. The other problem is that when you do use something like this, it does also prevent you from being promoted, or can prevent you from being promoted or finding another job that better suits you. Okay, so if something like that does happen, or you're in a situation that you want to be promoted, or you are in a situation where you do find a better job and you want it, but you're not being considered for it, you're going to have to call on that angel again and ask them to cancel that protection, and then move forward with another ritual at that point that you need in order to attract that job or attract that promotion. Again, this is kind of like why I say to maybe do it a little more often, say like once every 6 months or once every 4 months. That way, yeah, you do have to repeat the ritual a lot, but it kind of keeps you a little more open, especially during our economic times. Things can be very uncertain in the next several months for some people, so take that into consideration. The next two angels are not specifically geared towards finding employment, but still can be used for such. The third one I'm recommending is Pa'iel. That is the 56th angel. It's Poiel. Okay, and this one of the angels' abilities is to obtain any desire. Okay, and a lot of people think that, okay, this angel is great for using, obtaining anything that I want. I don't need the other 71 angels. Well, that's not true. Okay. Each angel has their purpose and use. I only included Pa'iel here because of this particular ability of his. And again, he can be used to obtain any desire. So this can be like for any facet of your life, or let's say that you've had something that came close to fruition at one point or another, or several times, but it never actually materialized. You may want to use Pa'iel for that situation where you almost got what you wanted, but it never happened for one reason or another, or the situation seems like it's just a little bit out of reach. In this case, say you want a job, you want to switch careers, but you don't have enough experience in the new career. Okay, and that can be for whatever situation. It seems a little bit out of reach because people aren't giving you the opportunity, to prove yourself. Pa'iel can assist in that type of situation, so you want to consider him as a possibility. The fourth one that I'm going to recommend is Lelahel, which is the sixth angel. That's Lelahel. The sixth angel, Lelahel, is used to increase luck in relation to ambition. So if if you want a career change, people aren't giving you the time of day, you lack the experience or you lack certain skills, they're not giving you a chance to prove yourself, but you're very ambitious, you really want to do this, I would call on Lelahel for that type of situation. Explain why it is that you want this particular change, say like in this case a new job or changing your career, and the angel will bring that improved luck to you to hopefully have that ambition come to fruition for you. All right, so that is something. Those are 4 angels to consider for seeking employment, is what I would recommend. Second subscriber question: is there a ritual to redirect one person's or group's wealth or luck to myself? I did kind of reword that a little bit, um, but that's basically what the person's question was that they were trying to get across. Can they take somebody else's wealth and make it their own, or can they transfer somebody else's wealth to them for one reason or another? I'm going to tell you right now, in 30 years of occult practice, I've never seen a ritual like that. Okay, that happens in the movies a lot. Okay, this isn't the movies, however, this is not Hollywood. Um, you're not going to transfer, Bill Gates' money to you, or Warren Buffett's money, or whoever the hell it is that you're, whether even if that millionaire or billionaire is not that well known, the chances of that happening are going to be slim to probably nil. All right. You do have to consider that a number of factors. First, and I've discussed this quite a few, or quite a number of times in some of my other videos. Wealth is not just something physical. It's not just what a person owns, but it is a mindset, folks. If you cannot control wealth, if you don't have a mindset for it, okay. And besides which, even if you were happen to did have the ability to take away, the wealth of one of these people, understand that they're gonna earn that money back in a very short amount of time. Okay, because again, they already have the mentality, they have the personality, they have the mindset that's necessary in order to control, to command, and to bring in that type of money. Okay. Why do you think that people who have won a state lottery are, within several weeks or months, they're dead broke again already, or they're in more debt, than what they were to begin with, because having all that money, they just weren't prepared for it. I mean, mentally, they were like, "Yeah, I want to win the lottery," but they didn't have that mindset, that wealth mindset, in order to be able to control that amount of money, to be able to hold on to that amount of money. They didn't have, the people and the resources to help them in that situation. Say that like a wealthy person would have accountants and lawyers and advisors and coaches and all these other types of people surrounding them that could give them advice on what to do, or how to use it, how to hold on to it, how to make it grow, so that it can be passed on to like the next generation or the next generation after that. If you don't have that mindset, you're just going to lose it. Okay, that's why you need to develop that mindset. I would recommend that anybody who has that particular kind of idea, they want to have wealth but they're not there, you got to develop that mindset. Okay, and I would suggest that one of the better ways that you could develop your own wealth and in that type of situation is go out, find an accountant, find a lawyer, find a coach, somebody that can help you to navigate your path on to obtaining that wealth. Get yourself a side gig as well, part-time job. Maybe you have a skill that you're not using. Maybe you took some jewelry classes and you're not doing anything with it. Well, I mean, that's a skill. That's a skill set. Start using it. Make yourself some jewelry. Open an account on Instagram, or one of these other media platforms, and like Twitter or something like that. put some tweets out there. Say, hey, look, I'm making jewelry, and go out there and open an Etsy account. Show people, even if it's just like one or two pieces in the beginning, and then and you're going to price it in order to obviously make a profit so that you can again buy more product. That might be something you want to look into. Maybe you can cut grass on the weekends. Maybe you can do another side gig, doing something else. I don't know. You have to think of what your skill sets are that you're not utilizing that can potentially earn you some extra cash that if you invest in properly can develop that wealth set for you. Yes, you're probably going to run into some pitfalls. You're probably going to have some problems along the way. You're probably going to have problems with growth and other little situations. But that's all normal, and that's all part of the process. And that's all part of the process of building your wealth mindset. And then, given time, you will start to see, your results. Okay, so take that into consideration, because the other option is, let's say you did happen to again, take this person's money. Not only are they going to earn it back in a short amount of time, but what happens when somebody else wants to take that money from you because they think that you don't deserve it, or they think that they can spend it better than you can, or they can invest it better than you can, or whatever. And see, there's just no end to it. So, there's really no honor among thieves, okay? And all you do is you get a bunch of idiots who keep, taking an eye for an eye, and then, everyone's just left blind because, they've all wanted revenge in one way or another. So, again, that's the best thing I can recommend is, find your own wealth. And if you're having a problem finding your own wealth, look at what other people, wealthy people have done in order to make their wealth. There's a lot of programs out there on the internet. A lot of them are, just junk, but there are a few good ones out there that, are worth looking into that can potentially make you money that, the money that you're wanting. Old proverb regarding wealth and gold is, you don't go out to the middle of nowhere where nobody's been to find gold. You usually go to where people have already found gold to find gold. So you do want to keep that in mind. All right, last question. Actually, this seems to be more of a statement, really, than a question. The person says, the biggest difference in path working is no offering is required. Being a Luciferian myself, I would kind of disagree with that statement. A lot of people would agree with it, but you have to remember that when you're dealing, whether you're path working with an angel or a demon here, especially if you're path working with a demon, they're achieving their own growth and their own purpose by assisting you within that path working. But again, the Luciferian side of me is saying that when we path work, when we have our sigil with whatever demon that we're working with, or entity, or even angel for that. Angels generally frown upon you bloodying their sigil, but we give a blood offering on that on a sigil whenever we generally path work. That's because we understand that there is a price to pay in order to obtain that knowledge or obtain that information that we want. So I'm going to leave it at that. That's pretty much going to cover it for me for now. I've already been on for a little over 50 minutes here. So I think I've rambled long enough. Again, folks, hopefully I will get some more videos out here in the near future. Again, I'm back. A lot of things have changed in my life, I think for the better. I don't see these allergies or anything. Definitely it's a setback. I think it's definitely been a blessing for myself up to this point. So with that, I do bid everyone a very fond farewell. Peace and infernal blessings.